Just a quick note before the video starts. Before I post it, I wanted to state that there's plenty of things that the WatchGuard Cloud single pane of glass can do. We just couldn't get to all of it within the short amount of time frame we were trying to aim for on the video. Things that we didn't get to where there's a PCI compliance report, a HIPAA compliance report, there's built-in security dashboards and reports, along with executive dashboards and reports that can all be scheduled to get sent out however you see fit, including SMS if that's really something you want to do. And along with that, you could do log searching and various other tasks. And we just wanted to give you that quick glance. So please don't take this short video as everything it has to offer, as it's not intended to be that. Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Scott. I'm from C14G. We are a cybersecurity solutions company with products and services ranging from firewalls to VPN concentrators. We focus on remote access and remote control. And we also do SNMP monitoring and infrastructure insight to figure out your virtual infrastructure, your physical infrastructure, and what's connected to your switches in one easy pane of glass. Today I wanted to discuss some of the finer parts about why we chose Watchguard as a certified partner, or why we chose to be in a relationship with Watchguard as a certified partner. One of the big things that I've seen professionally as I've been in this field a while is that a lot of these firewall solutions are either overcomplicated or they're too convoluted to give a good solution, I think, to your small to medium business sector. For instance, if you have a Cisco ASA device that interfaces command line only, they do have a Java client that can be a little harsh around the edges, but overall, if that engineer leaves for the firewall, it takes quite a bit to get somebody in to replace it. And I've seen that to be true with a lot of firewall vendors. SonicWall has a tendency for its interface to be a little backwards. Palo Alto, Juniper, Fortinet, FortiGate, these are all competitors to WatchGuard, but we still think that WatchGuard is one of the best. And I wanted to show you why. So I'm going to go ahead and show my screen. Sorry, I have to dodge around my microphone there. And we're signed into what's called Watchguard Cloud. You just go to cloud.watchguard.com. It does come with your Total Security Suite license. And right away, after you sign in and you register your firewall, you're presented with a wealth of information without having to configure anything. And that's probably one of the nicest features about it. So just to go over a few of those things, you can see right away that in this environment or in this example, we have an active passive cluster. It'll tell you of the two, which one is currently activated. I didn't have to configure it to do this. It did it all automatically. It obviously tells us how long it's been online. This secondary one apparently or the original primary one apparently rebooted 4 days ago. You can set up alerting very easily. So if this event occurs, the certain people that need to know or the email distribution list that needs to know gets updated automatically so you know it still happened. But based on my experience, even when an event like this happens and the secondary device fails over, even in the middle of business operations, there's no user impact. The only user impact I typically see in an active passive environment is that the VPN users might have to reconnect. To avoid that, you would need an active cluster, but realistically, active passive in a HA setup, which is a highly available setup, is probably the best solution for most of our clients out there. Continuing on this panel, it'll tell us what our current licensing structure is. It's the Total Security Suite, when it expires, and more importantly, how long our data retention time is on Watchguard Cloud. You can see right here, it shows 30 days. You can extend how long you have Watchguard Cloud. We do sell extension packs for retention, so if you needed a longer period, that is certainly possible. You'll see over on the right, just again, we didn't configure any of this. This is just available to us. We have the memory usage and the CPU usage. Because this is a test environment, our CPU usage is pretty low. But as a company grows and the capacity of their network expands, you might start to see the CPU capacity or the memory usage get close to around 80%. At that point, your business is probably doing pretty well. It's time to start thinking about what comes down the road, you can reach out to us. We make sure that there's no lost money in the upgrade. You do get credit of the current license applied to your upgrade if need be. It's just one of the nice things about it. But continuing about this single pane or this easy interface, we can see within the last 7 days, which is selected here, and we can change that to 14 days or 30 days or just today or yesterday. But in the last 7 days, we've scanned 8.6 million packets to see if there was a botnet. We did detect 5 and they were blocked. There was no web blocker actions. We don't have web blocker set up on this firewall. There were no intrusion preventions coming in, and we detected no malware in the last 7 days. That being said, we also get a who's connected to the firewall view. You'll see that right here. Right now, we don't have anybody connected via VPN. I'm on site. And it's just nice to have this information right here, right away, including the most active policies, right? So in the most active policies, you can see right at a glance which policies are being used the heaviest, how the business is leveraging the firewall rules that are out in place. For us, in this environment example, we have the HTTPS proxy, which makes sense, web pages. We have the outgoing filter, which is just outbound traffic in general. And then we have the normal HTTP traffic. One thing I do want to point out is we set up a test policy called RDP redirect to see if, even if we picked a random port and set up a NAT, if somebody on the internet would find it for no good reason. We pointed it to a honeypot, and I'm going to create another video that will let you know that, yeah, that was successful. Even though a lot of people think that you can avoid a VPN connection just by setting up a random port and then natting that to the inside. We did that to test it, and it took under 2 weeks for somebody actually on the other side of the world to find it and start trying to penetrate our honeypot. And I'll show that in a different video. Another nice feature, again, we didn't configure this. This was all just done for us automatically, is the threat map. I'm clicking here on the threat map. So the threat map is going to show you what your time frame is, and it's going to show you where the heaviest attacks are. You'll notice that there's a different colored pattern here. The darker the pattern, the more attempts were made from that country. Now, obviously, you could stop this altogether by turning geolocation services on, which is part of the total security suite. But for this example, we have all these countries allowed just to get the data flowing, so we could show some examples of what that looks like. So if we click here on Thailand, one of the lesser known ones, we can see that it attempted 5 hits over Telnet. If we click on, if that wants to close for me, if we click on, I think this is, yep, China, we could see that there's 9,500 hits in the last 7 days. And then you could see all the hits that we're trying to use. You're going to see one here, 8039. This was our test that we set up to see if somebody could find it. And the answer was yes. And they've attempted 9,040 times to connect within the last 7 days. Again, these are all automated processes. These are just scan bots that are out there. Not necessarily bots, but there's definitely procedures in place to just scan the internet for anyone. Whether you're at home, whether you're in a business, these things are happening all the time. One other nice feature, again, no configuration, is if we click on the United States for the last 7 days, you'll see that we have 3,955 attempts to get into our network just by being connected to the internet. If I wanted to go down a little further, let's go see who tried to get in via RDP, right? And when I say who, it's probably a bot, but we could see that Ashburn, Virginia, right here, if I click on the IP address, it'll give me the exact location of where that is, right there. So that is one nice feature. We click back to list. We're back here again. Let's go try to see another port that somebody might have used. Maybe SSH. That's a very commonly open port. And we can see there's all types of SSH. So the one that tried the most is in Las Vegas. Let's go ahead and click on the IP address for Las Vegas. And this was the exact location that this came from. Now, we don't know if this is a data center or if it's a house or what that case may be. Could be a VPN. We don't really know that, but it does show us the location for where that IP address was registered. So that's just some of the nice features right out of the gate, unconfigured. I decided to show the log search manager just to go see at the traffic that's passed. So I'm going to use that honeypot that we set up for an example. Our destination port is 8039 from the outside. Again, a randomly picked port by us just to see if someone would find it. And we're going to search the last 7 days on it just to see where that traffic is. And here you go. You can see all the denied policies for the last 7 days. You can see the time associated with it and the serial number of the firewall, which I'll gray out. But let's say we wanted to know, well, was it allowed? And I just wanted to show how easy it was to pick a two search term reference or whatever you want, query. So we just type a capital and display allowed, hit enter. And now in the last 7 days, once it actually catches up, it should only take about 5 seconds here. Now, there you go. Here's all of our allowed in the last 7 days. This was the honeypot, so I expected to see this. If I set it to 100, you'll see that we have 1.4 million packets that were discovered in that short time frame. You'll see that if you look, and I have it live, if anybody's really interested in seeing it live, we could see that it tries to connect about every 2 seconds. And it does this, or the bots do this, or the automation do this, automation events do this, just to prevent Windows from catching it, the firewall from seeing it as intrusion prevention, and that way they can just keep trying and trying and trying until they find the right solution. So again, I just wanted to show some of these very simple, easy tasks that we didn't configure. It just comes with your WatchGuard Cloud instance. So if you have any questions or you would like to know more, please feel free to reach out to us. We can be reached at c14g.com with our number and our contact information at the bottom of every single page. Thank you very much, and we hope to hear from you. Thanks.